Hello, I'm Dianna Anderson. I'm the CEO of Cylient and the creator of Cylient's comprehensive system for instilling coaching cultures. I'd like to tell you the story behind why I created this body of work and why I'm committed to making coaching a way of life for the world. I started my career back in the early 90s, working as a change management consultant, re-engineering Fortune 500 corporations. It didn't take me long to figure out that you can plan all you want, but change actually only happens when person by person people decide to take the risk and do something differently, rather than heading back to their cubes and doing what feels more comfortable to them. Unfortunately, when it came to large-scale change, there were, and still are, a lot of people who choose that more comfortable path because they perceive it to be safer. Which is understandable. I mean, let's face it, going through large-scale change can be pretty scary. And when people are frightened or confused, they often do things like complain or argue that the change isn't necessary or well thought out, or they just simply refuse to get with the program. When people behave in this way, they're often labeled as resistors and abandoned as lost causes. When that happens, they either exit the company or they stay and become a heavy weight that drags change efforts down, sometimes causing them to fail. Either way, this is a huge loss for everyone involved. Back in the 90s, most people, including me, assumed that was just the way it was and accepted this painful churn as the price of change. But then I discovered it didn't have to be that way. In 1994, I read what I believe was the first newspaper article written about the emerging profession of coaching. I was in Houston at the time. That article inspired me to begin professional coach training. Once I started coaching, I noticed pretty quickly that I was coaching most of my clients to do the same thing, which was to take a coaching approach to the challenges and disconnects that they encountered in their day-to-day interactions with others. It didn't seem to matter whether I was working with a senior person who needed to reach a compromise with another executive or a more junior person who was trying to figure out how to motivate a direct report. When I coached people to take a coaching approach to these situations, I noticed that change happened much more quickly, smoothly, and successfully. Well, that's when the lights went on for me. And I could see and feel the power that coaching had to drain so much of the pain and fear out of the process of moving through any kind of change. It was like I discovered a magic power. But the challenge was how to get that genie out of the bottle. Because you see, back in the 90s, most people believed that coaching could only be done by professionals through professional coaching conversations that had to take at least an hour and absolutely had to happen behind closed doors. That meant that coaching was very expensive and was only available to a select few people. I could see that the true transformational power of coaching would never be unleashed if we continued to insist that this was the only way to coach people. So I decided to figure out how to get coaching out from behind closed doors and into the lives of everyone, everywhere. That intention set me on a hero's journey of sorts. I set out to discover the alchemy needed to distill coaching down to the very essence of what makes it work, without losing the magical power to inspire people to realize more of their potential. Then, of course, I had to figure out how to express those ideas in such simple yet robust ways that anybody, anywhere in the world could quickly learn how to effectively take a coaching approach to day-to-day conversations. I completely resonate with the Steve Jobs quote that simple can be harder than complex. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean to make it simple, but it's worth it in the end, because once you get it, you can move mountains. That was and still is my goal, to move mountains by making in-the-moment coaching a way of life for the world. So I worked very hard to find a way to make the true essence of coaching accessible to all people. I've been blessed along the way with masterful teachers and coaches, amazing clients, fantastic teammates, and many people who have helped me in innumerable ways. I am deeply grateful for the generosity and understanding of client organizations who, through the years, have allowed me to come back over and over and over again to try new approaches until the codes for conveying the essential elements of coaching in simple ways were finally unlocked and turned into highly impactful learning experiences. The result of this journey is Cylient's comprehensive system for instilling coaching cultures in organizations. Cylient's Untying the Knot approach to in-the-moment coaching and feedback has been used by thousands of people around the world to make coaching-based leadership a way of life. My personal mission is to continue to expand and deepen the reach of this work until in-the-moment coaching and feedback becomes a way of life inside and outside of organizations globally. Organizations that truly embrace coaching-based leadership and build coaching cultures are leading the way in making this happen. And I believe they'll give themselves a sustainable competitive advantage in the process, because coaching is the alchemy that transforms people into better people as they work together to turn complex challenges into new ways of thinking, working, and being together. Perhaps more importantly, these organizations will role model for the rest of the world a more appreciative and effective way to collectively address our most pressing globally shared issues. The world needs to quickly get much better at these essential skills if we're to establish more sustaining and sustainable relationships of every kind. Those relationships will be the foundation of the kind of corner-turning changes that are so desperately needed in so many areas right now. I hope that you'll join me in making coaching a way of life for the world in whatever way is meaningful to you. You can rest assured that your contribution, whatever it will be an important part of an exciting global metamorphosis that's already well underway.